Hi, Martha.
Hi.
My name is Logan.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. You can go and take a seat.
Thank you.
So, hi, Martha. So, my name is Logan, as I said, and I will be the social worker that's going to be working with you. Before we get started, would you like any refreshments or crackers, anything before we get going?
Thank you. No, I'm good.
Okay, that's good. So, how was your drive over here?
I got lost with driving, but I was able to find it later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's too bad that you did get lost at one point, but I'm glad that you were able to make it over so I can meet with you today. So before we get started, I have some information I have to cover. And this is information that's from the agency and legally. So I'm what's called a mandated reporter. So what that means is, um, what we talk about is confidential. It's between you and me and what we say in our conversations. There are some limitations to that though. What those limitations are is if you mention about harming somebody else or harming yourself, then that's something I have to report. It's a legal obligation that I have, and it's something that I can't think about. It's just something I have to do if that comes up. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I can understand.
Okay, good. So my role today is to try to help you the best that I can. I'm going to try to connect you with resources. A big role of mine is connecting you with other resources to help you whichever way that it'll benefit you. So I'm not here to tell you what to do or here to make decisions for you, but hopefully we can try to figure out a way to communicate so that we can find what works best for you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So is there anything I need to know before we get started today?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Sounds good. So what brought you in here to me today?
Yeah, I think I'm having some issue with my elder daughter, the firstborn of my family,
Oh,
and we're having some issue. There's some miscommunication between me and her,
mm-hmm.
and that's why I am today.
Okay. I'm glad that you were able to come in today. So you mentioned about your daughter, and that's kind of what kind of brought you in today.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
You know, uh, she is the firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 children, so including her, we are six. So she's the firstborn of my family. And lately, there was we were having some difficulty understanding each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I try to talk to her, she's very rude, she don't respect me. And by the way, I come from a different country. So in my culture, children have to respect their parent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not here. I don't see that's going on with my daughter.
Sure. Okay. So, wow, sounds like you have 6 kids. And there's been some boundary issues, it seems like, with your oldest daughter. And that's something that you hope to look at. And it's kind of been causing some issues.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm here is to figure out, if we could establish, boundary with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So someone referred to me, your agents, that you're good agents and you guys help people with my situation.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We've helped people with similar situations that you're going through. So, let me ask you, has this happened before, the issues that you're facing with your daughter?
No, I think now she's turning a little bit older. She's becoming a little bit matured, very matured. And this is the first time I've experienced this kind of situation.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what would you say that your relationship is with your daughter?
At the moment, I think our relation is very bad.
Mm.
Mm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Because remember, I she don't drive. It's me who pick her from school and drop her to home. And whenever I try to ask her a question or give her a piece of advice as a parent, she don't try to listen. She try to argue with me a lot and think she know everything,
Okay.
and that has sometimes pissed me off.
Yep. Okay. So, it sounds like what you're saying is she kind of like tries to rise above you, and it does not work with you. Kind of, as you said,
Yeah,
it pisses you off.
yeah.
Okay.
And I've been trying, some kind of tactics, or some kind of the tactics was when she go high, I go low, but it don't work for me anymore. I was trying to be low when she go very high. I want to be
Mm-hmm.
She wanna be in it when she and I go low. So I've been trying these tactics, but it never works.
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Okay. So yeah, when you try to counter whenever she's high or low, it isn't working.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'm kind of wondering, what is your relationship like with your other children?
The other children, they're very, they respect me, they
Mm-hmm.
listen to me. But the fear I have is that, you know, her behavior might affect the other children.
Okay.
Because remember, she is the role model for the family. She is the oldest of my family.
Mm-hmm.
And the way now she's pretending, it might affect the rest of the children. Because
Okay.
her behavior, changes, rapidly or changes gradually,
Mm-hmm.
One day her mood is good, the other day her mood is,
Mm-hmm.
low, and
Okay.
yeah.
So it sounds like you have a pretty good relationship with the other kids, but you're kind of nervous or fearful that what your oldest daughter is kind of doing right now is going to rub off onto them. Okay. Sounds good. And I'm just going to take some notes if that's okay with you. I'm just going to write some stuff so I remember some stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. So, how have you dealt with your daughter in the past if an issue has come up before?
You know, prior coming to this country, I used to punish her, I used to beat her up.
Mm.
But since we come to this country, I think I try to respect the law, but she's taking, advantage of that. But she think because of I speak English, she thinks she know everything and she can call the police, and that has,
Okay.
increased, the problem. But the past, I think she was very young, and I was able to control her. But now, because of the age factor and the country we live, there's so many factors that has come.
Okay. And how old is she?
She's not now turning 18.
18.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha. So it sounds like before you used to be able to punish her, but you've moved to a new country, and and she's an adult, so things are a little bit different now.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm kind of wondering, emotionally, what do you emotionally like in a typical day?
Remember, I become very, initially I used to be outgoing. I have a very social life,
Mm-hmm.
but after I have experienced this situation, I become very isolated. I normally cry. I go to my, room. I become very emotional. I cry, and whenever I hear this kind of situation, it makes me. I become very depressed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that can be very hard when something like that's changed. Okay. So from what you're saying, sounds like you become very depressed. Here's a tissue for you if you want it. Got one in here. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned some depression. So do you currently see the psychiatrist or anybody else about that?
The problem, where I come from, mental health is a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to expose. I don't want to expose to the people that have depression because of people will look me down, and
Mm-hmm.
that's something. I think it's a problem with my community, because of if someone has some depression, I think he's more inferior than the rest of the community. So I never had a chance to meet with psychiatrist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it sounds like from your culture and stuff, depression's kind of, um, well, as you said, stigmatized, and people don't really like to think about it like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you personally, what do you think about depression?
Depression it's affecting me because of I used to be active mom and helping my children, but since then I have encountered this kind of issue. It affected my ability to be active and help. I always want to sleep and I'm crying the whole day.
Okay.
So it's
So it sounds like that you really take on that depression has affected some of your lifestyle,
yep.
and it's okay. Good to know that. So so if you were to take me through what a typical day looks like for yourself, can you kind of guide me on what that looks like?
I wake up in the morning. I
Okay.
prepare breakfast to my children. I prepare my young children. I take them to school, and I go to my work. And I have two jobs. I'm a waiter and I'm a cleaner.
Wow,
You know.
that's good. Okay, and you can tell me more.
So like when I go to my work 9. I work there almost until maybe 5.
Mm,
So I go to school. I drop my children, and I go back to my other job, and I leave 1 p.m. So I have a long day, and that's why sometimes I don't often see my older sister, and I'm a single mom. So I am counting on her, to help me,
mhm.
but that's not never be never there. But I think I have a busy schedule.
Okay. Yeah, from what you said, sounds like you're busy throughout the entire day with your two jobs, and you're dropping off your kids and going to your next job. And wow, yeah, it can be kind of hectic when you got everything going on for an entire day.
Yep.
Okay. So if you were to think about in a perfect world, what would a perfect world look like for you in a day?
I want to see my older sister helping me. She's very supportive, and she can take the responsibility of like cooking the food when I'm not there for the children.
Hmm.
And that will be a perfect world for me, And there's a good communication between me and my daughter.
Okay. So it sounds like you would like more help from your sister,
Yep.
and you'd have a good relationship with your daughter.
Yep.
So, and I know you mentioned that you have a full busy schedule, and what kind of leisure time or maybe hobby um, time do you have, or would you
Whenever
like?
whenever I like to play volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Before I came to America, I used to like playing volleyball, and I enjoyed it. It's one of the things I makes me very happy, and I like to play volleyball.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know and stuff. Sounds like you've had some good experiences with volleyball, and that's something you're interested in.
Yep.
Okay, good. So, from what you've told me, your kids are you care for your kids a lot, and that's a very positive thing going on in your life because that'll kind of keep you going, and it's just something to think about. So, uh, what's something that you would like to see change in your life?
I think the change I would like to see is I want my daughter to listen to me, and she has to respect me as a parent,
Okay.
because we come from a culture where parent has the ultimate decision of the family,
Mhm.
but that's not not working for me at this. So that is something I love to see, is that me and my daughter having good relationship is something I look forward in the
Okay.
days and the year ahead.
Awesome. Well, that's good to know. It sounds like that your main thing that you would love to see change is relationship between you and your daughter to head toward the positive direction.
Yep.
Okay, good. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind.
And the depression, I remember I have a depression, so I would like to
Okay,
get some kind of counseling or some kind of evaluation for
absolutely.
my company.
And I think those go intertwined, like you said, because depression is kind of affecting your day to day, and it can be hard to work on like your relationship with your daughter if you're depressed.
Okay.
Okay, so at our age, so you mentioned about some volleyball that you're interested in. And at our agency here, we have a connection to an active sports league. So there's open slots for like people to be coaches for I know volleyball is a section that there is there, and even just adults to play in that volleyball team. And if you're ever interested in that, or that suits you, go ahead and let me know. You don't have to hesitate. And we have many other options for hobbies as well. So that's a very well resource that you can definitely utilize if you ever choose to. So you mentioned how depression is a very impactful thing in your life right now. So, and you talked about like counseling, something you're interested in. So psychiatrists are well known, and they do provide counseling and sometimes medication with them. So how do you feel about setting up an appointment with a psychiatrist?
I think it's a great idea, and I am very interested, in scheduling an appointment with psychiatry
Okay.
if you refer to me one.
Mm-hmm. So have you ever been to a psychiatrist before?
As I told you before, I never went to psychiatrist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I know many people, they haven't been a psychiatrist or even counseling. So there's just some things that are good to know if you've never been there before. So it can help to know if you know what you want to say to a psychiatrist, because they're gonna kind of ask you like, why are you here? Or why are you meeting me? And sometimes like even writing down a question or something like that can help benefit you to get to better communication with the psychiatrist, so you know why you're there. So, and then asking them questions if you don't know something can help a lot. So then you can kind of understand what they're talking about and why they're saying what they are. So, so what do you think about meeting with psychiatrists after knowing that information?
I think the information you give me is very helpful, and I think it's gonna help me. So I look forward meeting with them.
Hmm.
So do you know anyone who is willing to, I can make you have their phone number, I can call them or make an appointment?
Yep, yep. We have different psychiatrists that we connect you to, and at the end of the meeting and stuff, I'll go and write that down for you,
Okay, thank
and
you.
then you can definitely contact them.
Okay.
So, from what we've talked about today, I understand that you want to set boundaries or find a way to help benefit your relationship with your daughter. You want to find a hobby that you can do, something that you're interested in, and you want to meet with a psychiatrist about your depression. Is that correct?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So, when you're confronted by your daughter about setting that, it can be a little scary if you've never done it before, especially like confronting somebody can be a little nerve-wracking. So, is there anything that you're concerned about regarding that or fearful of?
Yeah, because since now our relationship is not good, so I have the fear if I approach to my daughter, she become very things might become heat up, it can heat up.
Okay.
So I think we should look away that there should be a mediation between my daughter. So if a counselor can come and mediate us,
Mm,
I think it will be helpful.
okay. Yeah, and that's something that we could set up. We have services to where there is a mediator that's in between that can help people kind of communicate with each other. So it's definitely something that we can kind of look at the goal for you. So when you're gonna be talking with your daughter,
Okay.
so I'll go and write that down about the mediator.
Okay.
Okay. So and then the second goal is a hobby that kind of suits you. You mentioned volleyball, and we do have a program here that involves volleyball and other services provided. So probably what I'll do is I can give you a list of resources. I have them right here.
Thank you.
So there's a list of resources on there that you can kind of look at,
Mhm.
and then see if any of them suit you, and if you're interested in any of them, then you can go and let me know, and that can maybe be a goal set for the next time we meet.
Okay.
And if none of them suit you, then we can definitely figure out a different direction or other options to figure out what we can do about that.
Oh, great. Yes.
Okay. And then the last goal is to meet and set up with the psychiatrist, which I have some numbers here that I'll give you as well. Got them right here. So we got 3 different psychiatrists on there that you can contact.
Yep.
You know, and Mr. Jones is one that clients have mentioned that have been very helpful.
Okay.
So if you want to keep that in mind at all.
Good. Good.
So how is everything sounding right now that we've talked about?
I think I want to appreciate it. I think you give me very helpful information, and I think we had a clear now we have a clear plan
Mm-hmm.
and clear goal. So I think everything looks good so far.
Okay, sounds good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and summarize what we've talked about, and figure out, so you know what has to be done. So going over everything, I talked about mandated reporting, how I'm a mandated reporter, and what we talked about is confidential. But if you talk about harming yourself or somebody else, that's something I must report. Then you talked about some of the issues that you're having with your daughter. Your relationship with her is kind of not as strong as it used to be, and you hope to improve that. Then you talked about some how you're not as social and maybe getting a hobby, and you mentioned volleyball. And so I gave you a list of resources that you can kind of look over, and the next time we meet, you can let me know if you have any that you're interested in. And then the last thing was psychiatrist that meeting about your depression and having the therapy there for you to utilize. So, and then these goals are something that you hopefully you'll be able to complete by the next time we meet. So, do you have any questions for me about any of that?
No, I think it's a good step forward.
Mm-hmm.
The only question is will I able to meet with you again, or what's the plan?
Yep, absolutely. So I have a date here, and let me just look at my schedule. Okay, what does December 4th sound like?
Oh, it's which day? December 4th.
That's a Monday.
Oh, good. Work for me. Which day? Which time?
The time, I'm open noon to 4. Does any time work
Oh, I
for you?
think noon works for me.
Noon? Okay, awesome. Sounds good. So I will be meeting with you December 4th at noon, and then you have your goals that you can work at to try to complete.
Oh, great.
So, and I've been very happy to meet with you today, Martha, and it has been a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.